Peace and power. We are back. Today we are going to jump into chapter 13. The chapter will be on the spiraling protocol for high level orgasm. I'm going to go ahead and bring forth Brother Jamal Butts. Greetings, Brother Jamal.
Greetings, Miss Pitts. How are you today, ma'am?
I am well, thank you. How about yourself?
I am fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so very much. My Knicks are winning and the sun is shining here in Puerto Rico.
I see you got your team on. Put your team on.
They doing it, and doing it well. Okay.
The Knicks are making history. I've been following it on my little sports news. I watch It Is What It Is with Cameron and Mace and Stat. And so
Okay,
they've
yeah.
just been talking about it nonstop.
hmm
So shout out to the Knicks. It's making history once again. They said this ain't happened in generations and decades. And so
Well, fingers crossed. They got games to go. Got
uh,
a couple more games to go,
okay,
and they have
okay.
the chance of being the only team to ever completely sweep the playoffs, be undefeated
Oh
in the playoffs.
really?
15, yes, because yep, yep.
Okay. Well shout out to the Knicks.
There have been
Fingers
some good,
crossed.
yeah, yep. So keep it up, boys. Keep it up. I'll
And
be there.
welcome.
I'll be there tomorrow. Another little pep talk.
Mm-mm. Welcome to all of the new subscribers. Welcome back to my YouTube family. We are gonna go ahead and get into chapter 13. We have one more chapter, and thank you, Mr. Butts, for coming. Even though you're on vacation, I feel bad. I was hoping you did respond this morning so you can enjoy your vacation. But of course, we are always grateful and thankful that you'll still show up when you could be resting or on drinking a Mai Tai or something on the beach.
Hey,
So
there will
what
be
time is
plenty
it
of time
there?
for that. Um, it's uh, it's 10:21 now, so it's just an hour ahead of you guys.
Okay,
Um,
okay. So it's
Hey, I
East
caught
Coast.
another sunrise over the ocean, so that's a good time for me. That was at 6 this morning, so I just been sitting around eagerly waiting, chomping at the bit, waiting for Miss Pitts to ring me up and get us going as we continue into the pretty much the tail end of this particular book by Master Yao and Morris, The Holy Grail of Orgasm.
Right, and in this chapter, we're gonna just get into it. I'm gonna start today. I know that's kind of out of the loop, but I want to be able to
Yep, yep.
man man the post and the questions and look and see. I don't think if there's any diagrams that I
There's
missed.
a, there's a few there's a few near the end of it.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I did invite a couple of people to the book club. And so hopefully we'll have some new guests or people that's coming in the chat. And if not, of course we're gonna make it do what it do anyway. We see that you
All the
all are
time.
listening and keeping up by the numbers in the background. So thank you for everybody that goes back to listen when we are not live. You go back and listen to the full video. We appreciate it. If you have any comments, please leave them and we will address them the following week. We have one more week and we will answer the comments on the live. So chapter 13, it is spiraling protocol for the high level orgasm. The spiraling paradigm is an advanced system for deprogramming men and women who are adversely impacted by negative sexual programs implanted by society. It entails a reset of the sexual dendrite patterns. It is especially useful in the activation of the archetypes of the house of the woman and the house of the man. And that can be found in both the mastering or awakening the master feminine and awakening the master masculine. We have observed rapid advances up the table of sexual value, and the scope of the transition is that possible through spiraling is only limited by the degree of evolution of the surrogate. In general, spiraling is a means of elevating the masculine or feminine energy by exposure to a surrogate who is already at the desired level. The main action is achieved by vibrational resonance. The party who is already at the desired level, we will call the surrogate. The party who seeks to evolve up, we will call the trainee. In general, the trainee is exposed to the surrogate for the purpose of accelerated development of higher sexual faculties. The surrogate exercises their faculties normally by performing energy work of some kind on a third party or by having the work done to them. This is normally done on a massage table. It may or may not be tantra that is performed. The trainee is present at the exercise. The trainee is present at exercise. At the exercise. The trainee sees the surrogate perform and is immediately upgraded subliminally. They can see that the act is possible and how the feat was done. Thus, subconsciously, the possibility that they could achieve the same thing is created. Furthermore, since the trainee has already entered into an understanding that they are in a program of advancement, the exercise serves as a command to their light body due to begin the observed advance. The bodies of the surrogate are high in vibration, and the trainee desires to be in harmony with them. As a result, the trainee gradually vibrates higher to be in resonance with the surrogate. That is a rough summary of how it works. Technically, if there is one sexually advanced person in a group, all the other members of that group can be elevated to the highest level via the paradigm of spiraling. Thus, highly advanced person is the paramount surrogate. All members of the group will advance as long as they are receptive to the vibrations and have a genuine desire to ascend. Absolutely no woman in such a group can harbor extreme feminist dogma in her worldview, or it will destroy the group resonance. Absolutely no man in this group can harbor male misogyny ideals in his worldview, or it will severely damage the group harmony. The feminist vibration is a cancer to masculine energy, and the misogyny vibration is a cancer to feminine energy. The interaction between the trainee and surrogate should contain varied and multiple facets of activity. The more different things they do, the better. The exposure of the trainee to the surrogate will assist in activating their archetypes in the house of the man slash woman. Okay. In the house of the man, house slash house of the woman. However, this is only the case if the surrogate has that particular archetypal energy online. The ascension from spiraling is most pronounced if the surrogate is the opposite sex of the trainee. However, results in the same sex scenario can still be good. The dynamic works best in a group consisting of multiple couples, but a surrogate can be assigned to one couple, and in the past, such groups were formed from class groups. The action took place after the course was over. The group was rotated through the four archetypes of the house of the man slash woman, and they spent 1 month on each archetype. During this time, they picked a surrogate who had that archetype online to employ spiraling, and each month they chose a different surrogate. That is just one method by which the spiraling paradigm could be employed. The exposure of trainee to the surrogate can include a wide range of activities up to and including sexual intercourse. If the surrogate engages in high level orgasm with a third party in the bedroom, it will impact every member in the house. The trainee can be in the living room, but the exercises in the bedroom will still give the desired vibrational lift. Of course, any negative emotions associated with the pain body should be absent. Taking courses, watching videos, reading, and sharing experiences can all support spiraling. In fact, the trainee can begin to visualize herself or himself as having already achieved their developmental goal. Development goal. Again, the attention is critically important. Society has a great deal of heavy negative programming associated with sex. The drive to sabotage the opposite sex is clearly evident. Religion has poisoned the general sexual vibration, and women will deny access to sex if a man's credit score does not meet her criteria. Men will deny access to sex if a woman has had children with someone else. In my coaching experience, most clients declared their ardent desire to ascend. In reality, they only wish to advance if it did not require too much effort on their part. Furthermore, they always desire for their advancement to be greater than that of their mates. I find that people lack a general motivation to improve the self, and it is mostly just idle talk. Women seem especially averse to sexual self help. We address the outside facade only while completely neglecting the sexual apparatus. We wash our car every week but never check the oil. People do not realize just how much the pain body prevents them from investing in their sex life. They have big homes, expensive fancy cars, $100,000 education, and a poverty level sex life. Then they sit there and deny that they have a pain body. People find it so hard to get out of bed and simply come to class on time. They miss 45 minutes of the lecture. Excuse me. Y'all, when I don't get up and drink my hot water, this is what happened. Um, y'all gonna have to bear with me. The diagrams will be put up at a later moment. Um, Case study. For the sake of presentation, we will use an example case. Our group has 6 people and 3 couples. With the surrogate that makes 7 people, the paramount surrogate is a male whom we shall call John. The measuring system used in this spiraling case is the sex value table, giving values from -7 to +7. The goal of this group is to move up one level on the table each quarter period. Half the group is in the juvenile orgasm level in the bottom portion of the table, and half the group is in the adult level orgasm section, ranging +1 to +4. High level orgasm is a range of +5 to +7, and the table is in the appendix. Beverly at level +4, but her partner is not. Thus, she serves as a surrogate. Sorry. Thus, she serves as a surrogate. Okay. But her partner is not. Thus, she also serves as a surrogate, although she cannot sustain HLO. Kenneth is at +4, but his partner is not, so he can also serve as a surrogate. The next highest rank in her group is at a +1, which is minimum adult level. Therefore, none of the other members of the group can serve as surrogates. The group meets with the paramount surrogate once a week. Their model of spiraling is based on the lunar cycle. And in this model, they go through a cycle or rotation each lunar month, and each of the four meetings has a different spiraling theme. So for week one, the theme would be the light body, and that will be in the moon phase after a full moon. Week two will be table work, and that will be done during a waning moon. And week three will be table work as well. That will be done during the waxing moon. And week four is climax, and that is at full moon. In week one, the Paramount Surrogate picks one member and works on their light body. The other members are present. This is sort of a seeding operation. Expectation is that all six members will copy the advancement obtained by the member on the table. The surrogate broadcasts leadership. Those of you in the sports world or in pioneering adventures know what this means. The drill sergeant has a particular vibe. Part of why the cadets shape up is the routines he makes them do. Most of the reason why they advance so quickly is by simply being in the company of a leader who broadcasts excellence. In weeks 2 and 3, the surrogate performs some form of energy work to one of the three lower bodies, either the tantra, heart core work, or the prana work, etc. Prana is breathing exercises for those of you that don't know. And when not doing work, the group shares in other activities. All members of the group take turns attempting to do what vibrations of set members are aroused using tantra table work, special sound vibrations, and select elemental catalysts. These vibrational catalysts correspond to one of the four archetypes of the house of man, of the house of the man. The last week is different from the first three. This is a harvest. An attempt is made during this period for each member of the group to break through their former orgasmic profile ceiling. In other words, if they were at plus 2 on the sex value table, they need to experience a breakthrough into level plus 3. This is done in what is called High John's period. This is an apex time when sexual limits are more easily broken. The occult science of High John's is quite ancient. I carry High John's root in my purse, okay? Listen, it's very ancient. During each lunar month, sexual energy goes through strange phases. For the average person, under normal conditions, these phases are meaningless. Each lunar cycle is governed by a deity. Some people say by a planet or a house. The term does not matter, it is a deity. There are peak energy points, which are apex points, and there are low energy points at E nadir. The apex points are known in the juju. Hold on. Yeah. Are known in the juju world as high John peaks. This is a double peak, and it is the highest yang, but not in a masculine way. It is
Uh-oh.
maximum dark versus light, and it is the time of the dark matter. The
Miss
sun is,
Pitts,
yes.
you froze right when you were turning the page from Juju to World. You froze, so we didn't quite catch anything that you read.
You have to tap your screen. It's going from blurry to clear, so I take it's on your end.
Okay.
Um, this is a double peak. It is the highest yang, but not in a masculine way. It is maximum dark versus light. It is the time of the dark matter. The sun is low and the moon is high. The black holes in the cosmic are in full reverse. Some of you will know what that means. It is a carnal time. It is the optimal time for dark rituals. Dark does not mean evil here, but simply the reverse to light and sun. At these apex points of Hijjan, the paramount circuit engages in many sexual ritual. The ritual is for the benefit of the entire group. The vessel is on the table and brought to an orgasmic climax. Such a ritual is destructive to the pain body and promotes rapid sexual advancement. And so I'm going to stop reading there so I can get these diagrams up, and Mr. Butts will be taking over.
The High John. The event called High John is another occult phenomenon that has been kept from the masses and forgotten even by elite secret societies. Only the elect still remember. It is another premise. High John occurs 6 times in a lunar cycle. One is the main apex, 3.5 days prior to the full moon in is Yang. During this time, there are 6 high tides, 2 each day. When high tide, water elemental, meets full moon, dark element deity, then it is a high John. Those who lack knowledge of the occult will simply not understand. Now, there are some subtle aspects missing, but they would take an entire chapter to explain. One would need a thorough understanding of the 7 star system. During these high John points, things are possible that are not normally possible. When I turn ordinary women into priestesses, this is when the transformation happens. Women who typically resist adult level orgasm often let go and ascend into bliss at the high John apex. When I cure serious and chronic illness, this is when the healing occurs. This is the best time to imprint a young teen girl sexually or to remove a negative womb imprint. There is extra energy that can be accessed now. Portals can be opened. Certain energy comes into sharper focus. Going through these rotation each lunar month will cause people to evolve and advance sexually. Keep the feminists and misogynists out. In the second lunar month, Kenneth advanced to level +5 during a high John. He is now capable of HLO on his own. In month 2, both Kenneth and Beverly served as surrogate during the weekly meetings. The goal is for all 6 members to gain this capacity. In the second lunar month, John revised the spiraling model for this group. In each lunar rotation of 4 weeks, he focused on just one archetype for the entire month. John also incorporates certain Qigong, mantra, sounds, and meditation to zero in even more on ascension. The transfer between surrogate and trainee becomes even more intense. Now, each month there is a rotation of the lunar cycle, which completes all 4 elemental themes. Every season, at every 112 days, the rotation completes all 4 archetypes in the house of the man. The match pairs in the house of the man or woman include the moon archetype and warrior archetype, the eagle archetype and seated hawk archetype, the healer archetype and elegant rose archetype, the hunter archetype and treasure chest archetype. If spiraling is successful, a couple should only need to complete one 112-day rotation to move from the juvenile orgasm to the adult level orgasm. Likewise, in one 112-day rotation, a couple should move from the adult level orgasm group to a high level orgasm. This also applies to the house of money and the reduction of the pain body. It also applies to other occult initiations. These changes are permanent. Each lunar rotation is 28 days. Each house rotation is 112 days and contains 4 lunar rotations. Each 28-day period corresponds to one of the 4 male or female archetypes. After completing a rotation, the set of people have migrated through all 4 archetypes of the house of the man and the house of the woman once. The larger the set group, the faster the progression into higher level sexual levels. I'm sorry, the larger the set group, the faster the progression into higher sexual levels. I suggest 24 as the maximum number of people in a group. The higher the rank of the paramount surrogate on the sex value table, the faster the growth of the entire group, no matter how large it is. The absence of feminist energy and misogyny is critical. Women need to be yin and receptive. Men need to be yang, but with open hearts. A spiraling session may last 30 to 50 minutes. The talk and social time before and after the session are also important. Once the group could see the progress, they were excited. Beverly asked that they meet 3 times per week and all agreed. She wanted to claim that HLO spot permanently. The other ladies were moving up the table and she wanted to perform. Below, we look at the 112-day rotation from the lunar perspective. Each lunar month, the energy of the moon changes slightly. The books Awakening the Master Masculine and Awakening the Master Feminine provide more information of the archetypes and what possibilities exist in this format. This spiraling paradigm can be used as a standalone model or it can be employed as part of the cocoon protocol. Either way, it will make the hurdle of the sex value table easier to climb. Some people have been in the juvenile stage of orgasm for so long that they find the inertia very difficult to break free of. Spiraling is the ticket out. In the past, women have found it easier to achieve high level orgasm than men. In my opinion, this is because it seems easier for women to bridge the gap to bipolar sexual orientation. Most men seem very attached to the penis centered modality of relationships. Note that some women enter adulthood primed for HLO. They are only waiting for the right trigger. And I've seen a few women jump straight into ESR right from the juvenile level, skipping the adult level altogether once they start the spiraling rotation. The same is true for when they first enter the cocoon. This is not the typical case, nor do I claim to know or understand all the factors at play here. Sex is an amazing thing filled with contradictions and unique aspects. Who is the master of it? Not I. In this book, I present one path. I will get you there, but surely there are shortcuts and detours upon which only a, a few feet have tread and may only be known by the rare pioneers who stumble upon it. Very well. That ends that chapter. The last of it is the chart that I believe Ms. Pitts was looking for, just to describe the how the rotation, the spiraling rotation works with respect to the 112-day cycle, which includes your 4 lunar cycles. So
So I'm just over here scanning the diagrams, but I would like to recommend instead of working with the just general lunar cycles, trying to tap into your female partner's lunar cycles because there's no way a work could be done during a woman's cycle. I don't. It's not gonna happen. And women are in alignment with the lunar cycles. Most women's cycles align with either the full moon or the new moon. And so that'll be a tad bit. Of course, he wouldn't know because he doesn't have a cycle. But that would be my recommendation. But other than that, everything else just seemed pretty much on point. I am just getting a couple of the diagrams that we did not post. We did not post the elementals, and so I want to get that up so everybody have.
if you got, I was going to say, if I could, excuse me, that if anybody, if you haven't been with us, or even if you want to review, you should review. In order to understand this chapter, you probably want to go back first, not first, but definitely go back. Archetypes and houses of the male and female are paramount when we talk about the spiraling protocol. Go back to chapter um, chapter 4, and we've got it posted. Spitz has it posted. Go back to chapter 4, where we read that one, and the charts are up there so that you can see what the four houses of the man are, the four houses of the women, and the parameters that build each house. That's the only way that you're going to really understand what they're talking about here. And again, yes, they are talking about groups of people advancing, not just singular uh, couples per se. As we said, when we talk about reaching high level orgasms on purpose and continuously, you got to get the building blocks in place first. So before you can move on to doing whatever you want to do as far as high level orgasm with a partner, uh, an intimate partner of some type, unless both of you are training at the same time, you'll find that you'll be getting some training within a group session. And as this particular chapter describes, there will be a trainee as well as a surrogate, and then the trainer as well. So you'll be on the table getting some of it. You'll be standing by getting some of it. But as we read in previous chapters, that's whether you're doing it with intention or doing it as a byproduct. There is such a intense energy that is surrounding those that are doing the tantra work in helping to bring about high level orgasms that bystanders can be affected, and not just I don't mean in an adverse way, but affected, but um, positively, of course. But if you're paying attention with intention, as this paragraph suggests, anyway, um, you can elevate yourself, not just your understanding and not just your physical gratification, but you can elevate yourself from whatever level you're at, whether it's juvenile or one of the lower level adults, all the way into the 7 to 10 range of HLO.
Okay, so
And
I'm just gonna go ahead and share the screen
mm,
and see. Can you see that?
see that.
Okay. So the first diagram is what we were talking about with the moon cycles, and then of course the second is matched in pairs in house of the man and woman. And so we're just showing you if you use that diagram to determine which one you are, what would be a good match for you. And then this is the 112-day series of the spiraling rotation. And he uses the moon and the astrology here, which is good. Apps perfecto. Um, he talks about day 1 through 12, that Leo waxing moon, the moon and the warrior archetypes that would do table work, sounds, and catalysts. And then 11 through 14, Leo, moon, and warrior, high John, mini rituals, and so on and so forth. And then the next diagram just is the completion of that. And this is the diagram that he was speaking of, showing the lunar short cycle tides, and just showing for each long period, 7 days contains 14 short cycles. And so this is just showing you what's there. Now also, we didn't share this diagram. This is a special genital reflex map of the yoni, showing only the location points of contact for yoni scanning work. And so he talked about in previous chapters about scanning the yoni. And this is the last but not least. I don't know why they say it like this. Such a bummer. But this is just the elementals. You can still make it out. It's just so blurry. It said you only can scan 5 items at a time. I didn't know it was gonna blur it. But it's still it's just showing the elemental significations of the work. And I always tell people everybody has all 4 elements in their chart. You have water, air, earth, and fire. And then the 5th element nobody ever talks about is the ether, the melanin connection. So just that soul connection. And it is my belief that everybody doesn't have a soul. But melanated beings, if you look up melanin and the power that it holds, you'll stumble down a rabbit hole. And so that being said, just working with all those elements and making sure you have an understanding of you. I have no doubt that we all can possibly reach HLO status, unless, like he said, you are a misogynist or what do they call the women?
Feminists.
Feminists, misogynist or feminist, then that would block you from such. But just overall, if you have a love for us, men and women, and I say us, and I'm not speaking of everybody but us. But if you have a love of brothers and sisters alike, um, despite all of the division that's online, in spite of all the things that you've been through, then I truly believe that everybody can just still get to that HLO. So I hope you all are enjoying the book. I am looking forward to chapter 14. If I would have known it was this short, we probably could have got it over with today. But we want to bring Brother Butts home to finish this chapter. By then, we'll know whether or not the Knicks have won the playoffs, right? Or wrong. I don't know anything about sports. Will the Knicks be done with the playoffs by then, Brother Jamal?
That's my plan. That's my
Okay.
plan. They only need 2 more games. So
Okay.
yes, that's my plan.
Okay. So we're going to give it space to breathe. And by
Mhm.
then we'll know what happened with the Knicks if they change history. Okay. Um,
Mhm.
a lot of people are excited. I see people pulling out their orange and blue nationwide. A lot of people were skeptical. Like I said, they're not jumping on the bandwagon until they know that they know that they know. And then others have just never stopped rooting for their team. And so that's my summary of what's going on in the world. Like I said, I don't watch sports, uh not a lick of it, but I do watch my little sports show because Mace and Cameron are funny. So, despite whoever they talk about, they're just funny guys. And I like old school men. And so I grew up in their era. And so I watched that show. Shout out to these with these. But this book has just enlightened me on the balance that has to be there to achieve HLO and all of the things associated, including when me and Brother Butts was talking about the Hinduists and all that. I take it I took it that day that these were religions that did not multiply, but they're just religions. And so I looked it up and I'm like, okay, now I know for certain that the monks they stay single and dedicate themselves to spiritual life of enlightenment, I would say. And what a coincidence, we're reading this book. I roll down to the Walmart and there's a monk standing at the damn door. I was like, what kind of shenanigans is this? Um,
Ah, what a coincidence.
yeah, and so people that was at the time, I guess they were walking across country. I don't know. I don't get into any of the worldly things. I feel like everything is a big ass distraction. Excuse my language, but
Mhm.
just so happened he's at the door, and I'm like, what kind of shenanigans, Because this is a very small town and it's a farming town. So
Mhm.
standing at the door to Walmart, nonetheless, and I just looked. Probably should have took a picture and walked past because it was definitely a
Yeah,
moment.
you should have took a picture with him.
No, not with him. I don't give a damn about any group or what they be doing. So I definitely wouldn't have took a picture with them. But I should
Mm.
have took a picture because I've never seen a real monk. Okay.
Mm.
I wouldn't have asked the man for a picture up close, but I saw a lot of people posting online just on this kick, and I just feel like these are big distractions. We have bigger things going on behind the scenes in this country. And all that is a part of the distraction because so many people are lining up on the side of the road just to get a it's like, people, if you wouldn't do these things for family or people that's close to you, let's just get a grip. Let's just get a grip. Absolutely not. I'd rather take a picture with my mama, okay? But
Good.
he was fully dressed, or lack thereof. He had on his monk attire with, I don't even think they were shoes. It was like, you know how those ballerina shoes look? They they look similar to moccasins. And so he's just standing in the door. I don't even know why he was standing in the door. It was very strange, but I digress. But just my first time seeing it, but we had read a couple of things throughout his books on people's and their lifestyles. And so outside of religion, whether it be Hindus or Christians, outside of religion, there is a plethora of world and experiences that I feel like we all should just open ourselves up to. I feel like religion has put us back in time over and over again. Most wars are either about religion or women. And the religion aspect of it, thinking one is bigger or better than the other, whether you worship many gods or one, it's just a big distraction from what's really going on. Go out and experience life. Go to the actual places where these things have formed and taken place. Experience the culture. I'm more of, I feel like religion is when you go out and experience cultures and experiences of different people, places, and things. That should be the world religion. But nonetheless, whether you believe in semen retention or letting it all loose all the time, just remember that it is all an energy exchange and that you should not be doing this with just anybody. That is the key point that you have. This has to be done with somebody who has your best interest at heart. And so outside of that, I don't think HLO will be possible, because if you're experiencing this with somebody on a lower vibration and they don't think highly of you or don't have your best interests in mind, then that will be going into your practices. And so ultimately, I just honestly don't think, and I can tell, I don't know about anybody else. I'm always going to speak from my experiences. I can tell when I'm interacting with somebody on a lower vibration versus somebody that don't have no blockages. Shout out to y'all. shout out to no blockages people that have not let the world shape their view of men or women, and then they go into sexual experiences free and open. I just can tell. I can always, always tell. And so that experience is always going to be top tier versus the lower vibration experiences and people just chasing a nut versus an orgasm. Excuse my language. So, what do you think, Brother Jamal?
You know, great points that you made there, and I want to focus on the one pretty much the last thing that you were saying, and which it's a kind of a nail we've been trying to hammer home throughout the weeks that we've been reading the book, and that is in the course of building up a good foundation to get to a point of achieving high level orgasms willfully, intentionally, and on purpose consistently, there has to be some deprogramming done of both men and women.
Mm-hmm.
They reference two particular platforms as far as feminists and misogynists are concerned in this particular chapter. But when you talk about having a completely clean and clear pain body cell, there has to be some deprogramming done. You just don't get to be you don't get to be an adult and not have had some adverse influences, some traumas,
Mm-hmm.
some experiences that don't necessarily provide great building blocks or building material for the achievement of high level orgasms or really tapping into any of your uh, any of your bodies on a higher energetic level in and of itself. And
Right.
so I think it's a great time to repeat that, you know, please we go back and if you don't have the book, listen to the sessions that where we've read the book for you, obviously word for word, because we think it's that important to try to help people
Tap your screen.
that pay attention not just to the stuff that's nice and juicy and pushing you forward, but also pay attention to the things and the protocols that are being suggested to deprogram you from things that can hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder if you're wondering why, if you're working toward it, you're working with a Reiki master, a Tantra master, and such, your group is such that is advancing and you're not, you may want to pay attention to the things that you may want to pay attention to the things that you are not deprogramming because that could be what's holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Right.
that's
And
that's kind of the biggest point I think we want to kind of drive home from this particular chapter because he starts it off the very first words. The spiraling paradigm is an advanced system for deprogramming men and women who are adversely impacted by negative sexual programs implanted by society. You know,
right.
it says it right there. So
So deprogramming. I'm big on deprogramming. I'm big on spiritual work. I don't get into the world of psychology. We know Brother Butts, he's a professional in that field, but I'm more on the spiritual side, and Brother Butts too, don't get me wrong. But for me, I'm big into spiritual classes, spiritual advancement, spiritual healing, because I feel like with that I would not be a sane person. Without that, I would not be a sane person.
mhm.
Making sure that even though and through your encounters, you do not form this inner hatred for men or women, whatever you prefer. And so, me, I'm just a lover of people. Do I love everybody? No, I'm very picky with my energy exchanges, and you don't just come in and get in. It particularly is me getting to know you. Most of my friendships now, me and my friends court each other for years before we get into the personal stuff, and I can appreciate that because I like to get in depth with the people that I consider community. And again, these are people that I am surrounded by who have my highest good in heart, and the same for me for them. And so just making sure your community is tight and right. Not just anybody. I don't link up with people and just call them friend. I have to feel that for you. And friend is not friendship is not just somebody wandering in. And yeah, I'm so concerned with my chickens. That's why I'm looking at this. And I'm just thinking, who is out here around my chicken coop? I know the I know them not big turds. See, I gotta go outside. I'm just annoyed that things can get in my yard and kill my chickens and wander off into the sunset. And I have several weapons in here. I'm very annoyed. But anyway, making sure your community is tight and that people in your community are into some of the things that you're into. You're not gonna have a community of a cult. Well, cult is culture. So we're not gonna have a community of just zombie-minded people that are into everything you're into. But when it comes to your spiritual growth, um, your intellectual growth, your emotional growth, they are on the same vibration and journey. I think that's very important. And then when we talking about the HLO, of course, this is a little more personal. Um, People that I just honestly, you just can't be interacting with just any old body. People that literally want these same experiences, the healing orgasms. That's what I call it. Um, the orgasms that can change your life, the orgasms that can extend your life and make you look young again. Don't me and brother butts look good. We look good. we out here and we can't brag and say that we are experiencing a multitude of HLOs, but we're taking care of ourselves. We're both into health things and herbs, and we're both on our weight loss journeys. And so people that just are in alignment with some of the things that you're into so that you can have somebody to talk to. These things are detrimental. Like me and Brother Butts, we have weight loss in common. We both have lost a significant amount of weight and we still are on that journey. And sometimes we do get into conversations about how that impacts you mentally, how you see yourself physically. Because with me personally, I can't speak for him, but me personally, sometimes I look in the mirror and I just feel like I'm the same weight, even though I am over 40 some pounds down. It's just, I'm so used to looking at me, it doesn't feel like it, but people can see it. And so those are the type of conversations that you'll be able to have if you have a community of people that's on the same journey. And most of the people in my community, thankfully and gratefully, are working on their health and losing weight. We talk about it. I can call 3 to 4 people. I've met a new person that I brought into my community. Shout out to you, Sheldon. Um, he started going to the gym. We've been knowing each other now about a year. But when I met him, he wasn't working out, and I explained that I really can't get with the not working out. Like if you're not on, we have to have everything in common, but that is of high importance to me in my connections because it helps me to stay on me. You get what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody in my community that is losing its weight, taking their health very serious. Everybody's looking younger and slimmer by the day. But just I think that still has a part in the HLO because when you can look at your body and be okay with what you're seeing, then you could perform better in the bedroom. I don't know, but I'm talking about me. I be psyched out. I be in my own head. I could be wrong, but just things like that. Just building your community, brick by brick, and making sure that you're connected, not just having randoms around or people that you don't feel comfortable talking to about things like that. And so he doesn't speak specifically about things like that in this book, but like I say, the first 2 books we read, he did speak about community, um, how the people around you affect also your beliefs, religion. He talks about society, how that shapes you, and like we said, a lot of women, men too, but women in particular, because I'm associated with a bunch of women. All of the things that has happened to you does not have to be who you are or who you are towards or with your partner. And so, like Brother Jamal said, the deprogramming is deep because this is where most of the struggle is. And what he talked about in the previous chapter was those what was the name of that previous chapter? The cocoon. No, that's chapter 14. Next week will be the cocoon program. He talked about in the previous chapter the cell body and also what was he calling the other thing? It was like a shadow system. Petrified sexual gnosis. That right there was heavy because those are the things that you have literally taken in and they have calcified you on a cellular level. That was just so deep. It was just like, dang, you carry these things around and it could be generational rape. And you carry this around for generations. You inherit everything that your grandmother had in her womb. And so she went through that and your mom went through that. Then you went through that. This is passed down generationally and we have to heal those type of things. We can't just keep carrying it around. And I see women all the time. I had a conversation yesterday with my niece, and we joke about it, but words hold power. And so it's just like, we have to still believe in the brothers that are out there doing good. Yes, there's a lot of shenanigans going on in the world, but there's still a good brothers out there. And so that's my mindset in dating. I hear people say, "Oh, it's piss in the dating pool." I don't subscribe to that. Um, even though urine is sterile, even though urine is sterile, it might have its place. I don't know, but
Mm,
I'm just saying. um, with that, I just don't subscribe to it. People say it all the time. People be like, "Oh, all the dating apps are trash." All the things people say, I hear it because I'm back on
mm,
the market. And it's just like I'm still open and receptive to love. I always have been. I've been through a whole hell of a lot. I can easily be an ice queen, but it's just not who I am. I'm warm on the inside. It's just now I know to choose who to share that with carefully. And so I encourage all the women out there and men to let go of some of the things that society are pushing on us as far as separation goes. And okay, those are not turds, they're corn. I put corn out there. I was finna get mad. I was like, I know I ain't in my yard. I'm about to get this fence put. I need a higher fence. But yeah. I just want to encourage all the men and women to what you call the spiral. What he say about the spiral? We are deprogramming it.
deprogramming, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
want to deprogram. And I know I rambled on for 15 minutes. I'm just trying to get y'all these 2 hours. Brother Bush, you got anything else you want to add?
Yes, I mean just jumping on what what you're saying that he did talk about the emotional the emotional and the spiritual um hindrances
Mm,
in the petrified sexual gnosis chapter that we read. I think it was like 11. We went through a lot of that, described a lot of that. Again, yes, high achievement of high level orgasms on purpose, intentionally, consistently, and on purpose is the knowledge base or of the book, but there are so many subsets of things that go into getting there and deprogramming yourself from the emotional traumas, healing yourself, going on a healing journey at least. For those things, he did speak of, getting into a better health alignment, not hydrating yourself on a cellular level with the appropriate things, uh, attempting to find alternatives to some of the pharmaceuticals that directly hinder people from achieving orgasms at all, much less high level orgasms, can be adversely affected by pharmaceuticals as well as um, the food that you eat or deficiencies of supplements that actually help. It's not just to give you stronger sperm or thicker seminal fluid or more seminal fluid or tastier seminal fluid or orgasmic juices and such. There's a lot of there's a lot of suggestions that we have read from Master Morris about how to best go about achieving the reductions of the things or elimination of the things that will inhibit you from being able to take on the other energies and explore the other entities to get you to a point of being able to willfully and intentionally uh, have high level orgasms on purpose consistently. So I think it's important that we do consider consistently remember the that we can have some byproducts that prevent us from getting to that physical gratification, but it, a high level orgasm is about more than just a physical gratification. It is indeed, and that's why the book in itself is called the Holy Grail of Orgasm. It's a, it's a, a journey that will allow you to heal on an emotional level, grow on a spiritual level, and yes, to physically achieve the greatest pleasure that you possibly can with a partner. Um, and so, yeah, I'm just hoping that people will go back and listen to the previous reads, even if you don't have the book. And if you've got the book, reread the book. Find a community, find a group, find a master in your area to help you, because you're always going to need somebody above you, uh, of the opposite sex, in order to maximize your elevation on that table, um, on the chart, on the value system, the sexual value system that Master Mars shared with us several chapters ago.
Right.
But you, Miss Pitts, you're much more into the astrological influence than um, my personal knowledge base is. Do you see how these things are actually are aligning with respect to the modality of astrology and the high level orgasm, the tantra, as far as high level orgasms are concerned?
When he said that, I was just like, okay, because for me, I'm always talking in the background about how all is relative. We can
Hmm.
understand things and commit to understanding them, or we can commit to misunderstanding them. And so, for me, the planetary. Now I'm going to look into that because he speaks of the planetary relevance and how it is
Hmm.
related and the
Hmm.
influence of it. And I know personally that Mars influences sex. That is the action to act upon.
Hmm.
Also, we can say Venus. Venus is the love or the lover. Um, Venus loves all things. Venus just wants everybody to have nice things. We'll say that. We're not gonna place Venus just sex, but all the things, desire, all the beautiful and wonderful things. And so when I think about that, we can talk about Juno, just not just the planets, but they're also asteroids and comets in astrology. And so just thinking about all of the ones that actually pertain to the act and the houses, because the eighth house, and this is in my mind, astrologers don't jump down my throat. Everybody know astrology is wide and vast. But that eighth house is the house of pleasure, and so just looking and checking your chart at that moment to see how that eighth house is being influenced. Is there Mars there? Meaning that you might get you some good, you might get you a good HLO if Mars is present in the eighth house. And you might be dealing with Scorpio or Scorpio. Scorpio is the genitals, the sexual organs. Scorpio is all things sex. So um, just everything is relative, and it I love when people bring the astrology into things because then it forces you to go and research. Astrology is a lifelong lesson. It never completed. You can't just sum it up and put it in a box. You can't cram it into a course. It's lifelong, and so just to go and look at on Chat GPT wherever you go. And I don't promote Chat GPT, baby. Chat GPT be lying. But any search engine that you use, typing in just that particular phrase, what planets influence sexual behavior or actions, and just reading through. And so I know me as a fire sign, me and my fire sign friends, okay, we just love talking and joking and just sex. It comes up all the time. It's something, you know me personally, I talk about all the time. It's just there. And so it's nothing that I've ever been ashamed of. You know, when I was younger, people used to try to shame you down, especially when you're in the church. The church will shame you down about some sex, ain't it?
Hmm.
But it's just is
Hmm.
always one of those things where I've always enjoyed it on a level that probably most would never get to. And so for me, it's
Hmm.
nothing. It's light work. It's light work. When I think about an HLO, I know when I'm interacting with whoever my next partner, um, I'm going to be thinking on that higher level and trying to make sure that my partner understands that this is not just a moaning and groaning session. This is higher level experience here. And so
Hmm.
I love all of it. It's like that Mars energy, it's the aggression. And so I love a good old aggressive guy. And then listen, listen, listen. It's how
I'm listening. All I'm doing is listening.
it's how people act upon you. Mars will be, how you get there. So somebody that is just very seductive and just knows how to get there, not missing anything. Like they know the exact steps to take. I love a good old expert. And I love somebody you don't have to teach. I'm for the teaching because I'm not going to stay if you can't listen. But I love somebody that don't have to teach. They get in there like the eye of the tiger. So for me, it it is what it is. But that's just my experience as a fire sign. You being water, you might have more sensual experiences to where it's a lot of romance and emotion. You know what I'm saying? It just depends. But I'm a lover of all of it. I just that is gonna make me look into my chart to see
Mhm.
where my Mars placement is, and it might explain a little bit more how, because even with me in the friendships, I have Uranus in my friendship house, and so that means most of my friendships will be found online. And most of the people I know now that my close circle, I met them online or on the app. So
Mhm.
that's why I say astrology is not just about what your day or what lottery number. It's your life. And so, what you was gonna say, brother Butch?
I want to pose this question to you. If I'm thinking of your statement about your preference for a guy that has experience, knowledge and experience that can immediately know exactly what to do with your body, and get you where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I'm going to ask this question. Um, because master, this high level orgasm, the holy grail of high level orgasm that we've been reading, but and we even talked about it today. It's for people that are in training to get to be able to help others to high level orgasms, going from juvenile to adult. Master
Mm-hmm.
Morris says it's a good thing if most, he says most of, well, the case study here said most of the most of the people in the study were able to get there the first cycle of 112 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then those going from adult to high level orgasm consistently, intentionally, and on purpose took another 112 days before they were able to, you know, be able to shape a session where they could bring a person to high level orgasm.
Right.
Isn't it a little unfair of the general person to expect that they're going to run into a partner that does not have the 224 days of experience to be able to bring about all the maximum pleasures that can be brought about to a person? That's the question.
Um, I don't think anybody's expectations are a little unfair. But with that being said, that's why I say your sign determines. So with fire, I literally attract like passionate people, right? And so, no matter the person's sign, like Earth, we know Earth is grounding, and so your experience, with Earth, and I speak on Earth because one of my best experiences has been with the Capricorn. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. Okay, Capricorn is the elders, and so they tend to have elderly experiences, whether they got them in this lifetime or the previous. But with that being said, it's just like I can't say all caps or all earth signs, but that Capricorn got some kind of um I'm trying not to be like I be with my friends on they got some kind of elderly wisdom when it comes to those type of experiences because they've been here before. They are the
Mm-hmm.
elders. They climb to the top, and so sometimes in sexual experiences, they just know what to do. Um, so I don't think no expectation is an expectation. It's just not gonna always be met. For me, when I do meet new partners, I do look up their chart because I want to know. But I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't place expectations there. But energy wise, when we're in that same space, and I'm an R&B girl, y'all haven't noticed. Okay, I'm an R&B girl. So by the time I put on the R&B and we're talk, I'm a sapiosexual, so I love good conversation. We're not people in their mind they thinking firing because I talk about sex, so we just ravaging each other. No, I like good deep conversation and a good meal. I cook in general. In dating, of course, you might go on a little date or something, but I particularly like cooking because I put care into my food. And so, with all that going on and getting to know the person, I can feel the type of energy. Now, do I feel that with everybody? No. And do I expect 4 hour sessions with everybody I encounter? No. But I still have the high goal and expectation to get there. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a person. Sag is expansion. We come in to expand you and your experiences. And so when you're open to that, and that's why I always teach people astrology is your life. When you're open to expansion, that person can turn your 30 minutes to 4 hours because you're open to being taught. And we all know that the teacher always remains the student. And so nobody knows everything. Nobody's going to be just 4 hours off the top. Nobody's going to be HLO out the door. But if you still have a higher thought of that person and yourself, then you know you can get there. And so, no, don't be out here putting all these expectations on people. It weighs down a relationship and a connection. I don't go in with no expectations. I let you prove me right or wrong. That's just how I always have been. But when it comes to the astrology, I am a little more open and receptive to certain signs because I already know I've had a taste of those experiences. Just like right now, I'm experimenting with dating fire. I just feel like with my masculine nature as a Sag, they can take a little more. I'm not overly explaining. I'm not being somebody trying to change or water me down. This is what you get. You get my feminine when I feel safe with you. It's not gonna come in the door all giddy and dinky. That's just not gonna happen. I'm a sapiosexual. It's mental for me. But once you come in, then you get the softness. Then you get the R&B version, the food, the comfort. Because that's my nature. I'm a Cancer rising. I nurture naturally. Nobody has to instruct me to nurture my partner. That's just what I do. And so that would be my water element, but it's you don't get water coming in the door. And that's why I tell people, learn your own chart. If you don't do nothing else, it ain't for the world or somebody to be reading your chart. It's about you learning yourself. And so once I understood that I am masculine and that in nature, my higher self, which is your your rising, your ascending sign, it is for my life journey to become that supreme nurturer. I'm a Cancer rising. So that means on my journey, anybody in connection with me, you come to my house, you come visit, everybody know I'm a nurturer. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna cook you breakfast, I'm gonna make you feel like this is Georgia. I'm Southern. You get what I'm saying? So everything that come with the Southern women, the Southern hospitality and all that, I have that in me. It's in my genes. And so I don't need instruction on that. And it's the same thing with my sexual experience. It's like I particularly like to talk about sex up front with my partner. A lot of people be like, "Oh, it's too early." Oh, and my friends be in an uproar. But I tell them I don't mind because I want to know. I want to know what you're into and if I'm signing up, what I'm signing up for. And then the other thing is like, okay, I have to process. So I'm a researcher. If you tell me you into something, I'm gonna go do the research so I can see if I'm willing to get into that box with you because sometimes I am, and sometimes if it's too much, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And a lot of it is just learning your partner. I just feel like us as a society, we go around with the thinking that we know. You don't know every partner. And I'm not saying you should have 25 partners or one. I'm not here to judge that. But with every person, I want to know your mind. And so it starts there for me. And then all the things you like or prefer in the bedroom. I want to see if I'm going to be able to perform that. Because I've been told as a young girl, as a young girl, that I didn't have good fellatio. And I didn't care. As a young girl, I didn't care. But as an older, mature, more open and receptive woman, I want to be good at everything. So I'm gonna go and look at some videos and see how, and I'm gonna read books on HLOs. I want to make that experience supreme. So I hope that answers your question, but just know, don't put expectation on people. You don't even know if you good or not until you know cross the path with the right person. And so you want to make sure that you're improving by reading stuff on Tantra, all the things that he said in here, the HLO, the Holy Grail of Orgasm. Just stay educated when it comes to sex, just like you would if you're following a religion. I really think we should get us a sex cult. I'm like, we should start a sex cult, Jamal. I mean, Mr. Butts.
I am not available for that.
You, you want,
I am
you,
not available for that.
we should, we
I'm
should
not that
start.
kind of guy anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna find some people to start us a good old cult because somebody got to be the teacher. Now I'm not gonna be participating, but I feel like I can watch and let you know whether you hitting that spot or not.
No. Um, so just some things that came up. I just want to touch back on that I think are relative to what we were discussing today. And that is one of the building blocks that we previously discussed in the previous chapter was that of how long it even takes for a man to chart, properly chart
Mm-hmm.
the yoni, vagina, sexual organ of a woman. That it takes time, supposed to take notes, literally write them down in the midst of that charting.
What kind of chart?
And even, huh?
What kind of charts are you talking about?
I'm talking about the chapter we read on charting the yoni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how you're supposed to, use your auric penis in order to find out the various areas that are sensitive to that particular woman, because every woman's spot or spots are not exactly the same. There is a general area that is supposed to be 5 degrees left of center or 5 degrees right of center.
Mhm.
Um, as you face a woman's vagina,
Mhm.
that's inside approximately 3 inches, 5 degrees this way, 5 degrees that way. That's the general area. But knowing exactly where it is and what to do, Master Morris has shared with us that it takes some time to figure that out and to properly chart it so that when you are intentionally leading someone to high level orgasm, with whether you're doing it physically or energetically, um, you know where to go, how to get there for that particular person.
Mhm.
And he teaches that everyone will be different. So um, men, irrespective of how much experience you think you may have had,
Mhm.
um, or how much you were able to please your previous partners, if you're doing it willfully and intentionally and trying not to get past just the juvenile stage of it, trying to get to high level orgasm, then you're going to have to put the work in, as they say. And the work is not just, standing up and pounding and whatnot.
Say it again.
Um,
Say that
it
one
is
more
people.
time.
The work, the meaning is not just standing up and pounding away
Mhm.
from any particular position, but it is paying attention to how a woman is responding, looking into her eyes, paying attention to her breath, what happens with her tongue and her lips, um, and not being uh, ladies, please stop faking men out about them doing something that they're not doing. We spoke about this a couple of times, having um, with some gentility, having some being willing to have some conversation. No, you're not going to get a great response. You say, "Boy, get up off of me! You ain't doing nothing. You don't know what you're doing." But if in fact you're with a partner that you are willing to be vulnerable with, that you care about, that you want to continue having relations and a healthy relationship with, it is going to take some patience and some communication on your part, and some attention on his part, and some intention on his part. Now I get it. You're real excited about maybe doing it for the first time, and you waited so long, and so long might have been 4 hours, not necessarily 90 days. Everybody's pace level of patience is different, and it may not be the best or the greatest or the most satisfactory for both partners initially. But if you're intending to have a healthy relationship, being willing to have communication and exercise some level of patience with your partner, achievement of adult level orgasms is definitely possible, and with greater training, getting to high level orgasms definitely possible. Utilize some of the tools, not some, but all of the tools that Master Morris has been sharing with us in the book here, that we've been reading, The Holy Grail of Orgasm by Master Yao In Morris. Um, then we can get there. But it is definitely a learning experience. And that's the kind of thing I want to really kind of drive home, is that, even for these experts that have been in his course, his class,
Right.
just getting them, just getting them to a point of being healthy enough takes 6 months to a year.
Mhm.
Listen to me. We've read just getting them to a point of being physically, emotionally, and spiritually healthy enough to begin the table work has taken 6 months to a year.
Mhm.
And then the 112-day cycle for most people getting it through 4 lunar cycles, but 112 days to elevate from juvenile to adult. and another 112 days to go from adult to high level orgasm, and that is being able to do it. Not that they didn't do it in the first quadrant, but being able to do it willfully and intentionally on purpose consistently um, can take 224 days. That's almost another year, isn't it?
Right.
So be patient with yourselves as well as with your partners as you, if particularly couples that may be exploring this journey together, which I think is a great prospect. Um, in doing the work, putting the work in patiently, patiently, and with intention.
Mm.
With intention.
Yeah, I concur. I agree fully. And key thing we both keep saying, getting to know your present partner, not your past. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I don't know what it will feel like to be in a group setting or have more than one partner. I don't subscribe to that. At one time, it's a bit much. Like I said, I'm very protective of my energy, and I value my energy, and so I can't
Mm-hmm.
spreading it thin. I believe in energy leaks. That's why my community is tight, and so I don't leak energy. I It's too much. So when you talk about multiples, have at it if that's what you're doing. I'm not doing that, but just really focusing in on who you're with and what that looks like for both of you all to achieve the HLO. It was another thing I want to talk about. Um, with Master Morris's teachings, you have to always consider chewing the meat and spitting out the bones. Everything that he teaches in his courses might not apply to you. Um, you might meet someone that has a +7 upon y'all's first interaction. You be at a +1 or a -1. I don't know if it goes into the negative. You just don't know. And so, with that being said, you have to still remain open and receptive. A lot of people are pleasers, and I honestly think the pleasers should be with pleasers. Because if you just a taker, I don't think this is a good thing for you. But I guess that's my personal opinion. I just think that when two people are pleasers, they're gonna notice these things and the energy levels, I would say. And so with that, um, I meet people personally that say, "Oh, well, I'm a pleaser," but then you can't hear your partner when they're saying, "I like this" or "I like that," or like Brother Butt said, you're not paying attention to how your partner is responding to what you're doing. That's key. You be all into it, and let's throw away the pound town. That came and went. Y'all was online to my pound town. Not No, this is sensual sexuality. Pound town, you can't hear. How can you be pounding and hearing and noticing and just mapping the yoni at the same time? It's not going to happen. So let's just throw that away. I get it. Every day is not going to be, like I say, a long, drawn out session. Some days you might be in quickie mode. But to govern your connections with a pound town mentality is trash. Let's just throw that on away. That's trash. Nobody
Let's be,
wants.
and being honest. I mean, I probably have heard I probably have heard women espousing their need for the pound town type of experience more than men wanting to share the pound town experience. And let's just keep it real. That's very draining to the average man. You know,
Really?
to be thrusting continuously for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes. That's more than just your standard aerobic workout
Right.
for the average person. And yet, sadly, and I'm glad we talked about this because sadly, um, it has become a part of our culture as a byproduct to some of the traumatic experiences that our sisters have had.
Hmm. I was just
They
when you said it, I was
they've been pounded on by
yeah,
men with large phalluses, large penises, and it has destroyed the sensitivity of
yes,
some of the women in our culture to a point where to feel anything, they almost have to have that pound town experience.
and that's
But
wild.
as quick as I say that, I need to say this.
Mm,
That is mostly reversible.
mm. Yeah,
You can get your vagina to a healthier state again to be able to be able to enjoy a man with an average sized penis that is making love to you in a
right,
less aggressive fashion.
right,
But I
right.
recognize that it has it has happened. It's probably mostly the fault of the male species that women have suffered like that and have gotten to that point. But the continuation of it is absolutely unnecessary.
And
Absolutely. And
I
that's and
mean,
that's just the reality. That's just the isness of it. You can get lost up in there if in that you can get lost in that if you want to,
mm-hmm,
but um it is not necessary. It is just and it's highly destructive to the feminine
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
organ. It is highly destructive to the female organ. So um I would like to think that most of us don't want to end our sex life at 40 or 50
right,
or 60. We would like to think that we would be with a partner and both of us would be able to still enjoy
mm-hmm,
pleasing one another, at least on an adult level, if not still being willfully and intentionally reaching high level orgasms at 70 and 80 into 90. For those of you that believe in the Christian experience, you know, I believe there was a story about Abraham and Sarah and the angel telling her that she
mm-hmm,
was going to have a baby, and just the thought of even having sex drove her to say, "Am I to know pleasure at my age?"
right,
Um, and I know we're not the biblical species that we were, but we have a we get ourselves in a healthier state, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and continue to take care of ourselves as well as one another,
mm-hmm,
then we will do things and abstain from doing things that are unhealthy to our partners and do or healthier things to our partners. Yeah, that Pound Town one is kind of one that drives me a little crazy sometimes too.
yeah,
And particularly when I hear it from women, oh, you got to take me to Pound Town. I'm like, baby, I feel sorry for you because I know where that comes from.
right,
You've had too many experiences where men that had large penises just did it. They were going at it for them just to get their nut. They probably didn't really give a damn whether you had one or not.
right,
In the course of them being high and drunk, they did and on rhino and pills and Viagra, gas, whatever. They wasn't feeling half or nothing. To get them where they needed to be, they had to beat up on you, and it drives me crazy. And it
yeah,
drives me crazy. Because you
yeah,
know how I love, because you know how I love women.
right,
Of- and I don't not from a sexual. I love and respect women. I've got five sisters. I've got a host of um god sisters, and just the idea that our culture is suffering like that, being lost in that mindset. And there's songs out there, uh, with fabulous beats that we're hypnotizing ourselves with about that being okay, and it's not okay. And I'm gonna get
right.
off my soapbox about that, but
No,
ladies,
it's
it is not okay, and that does not have to be the end of your story, too.
Right.
There you go.
No, and
See
it's
a
not.
see a urologist.
I was just say it's not a soapbox. It's true. I when that came out, I'm just thinking in my head, how can I even be in my feminine when I'm being pounded? Like I don't want to be pounded.
Mhm.
And a lot of I ain't gonna say I have a lot of interactions, but in my interactions, I mostly make sure that that's clear. I don't even if you are the type of person that's watching Pound Town porn, I don't want to interact. It's like I'm not on it. Don't send it to me. It's a big turn off. Okay, it lets me know your mental state of mind is just not in alignment. I don't want no parts. And so, this young lady was speaking the other day, and she spoke about sensual massage porn. I didn't know if it was a language. I'm not a porn girl. I'm not even gonna flex with y'all, but
That is a genre.
yes, she explained that that's for more people who like the sensual side versus you seeing all these diabolical things and thinking you're finna do it to me. I don't think so. I don't think so. Every part of me is connected to me. I don't want even to be touched by anybody that is into that. This is not a abuse section. Don't be handling my boobs hard. Don't be handling my vajayjay hard. Period. Like I don't want it. Okay. And so
Mhm.
let that be clear. The other thing is this diagram right here, which I look at this often. Just looking at the positioning, and he say the 5 degrees left or right is the G spot for the woman. Maybe I think he said like 3 inches in, but what it looks like to me too is when you're doing the reverse cowboy. That's where
Mhm.
you would get into those spots where you can heal lung issues, liver, bladder, all that. It looks like reverse cowboy to me. I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, reverse cowgirl, reverse cowgirl
Mhm.
to
Okay.
me. And so I don't know positioning wise what they're doing on the table, but now I will pay more attention to that. And especially when he said right here on the chart, it says the lungs is the triple heater. And so I'm very conscious and aware of my breathing as well when I am in that mode. And so and this is just my personal opinion, I think that the breath is also connection to life. If you follow Erica Badu, she speaks
Oh,
about it all
absolutely.
the time. When
Absolutely.
it says that the we're not breathing properly, and
Mhm.
also he spoke on the prana. And so I took a whole in high priestess class. We covered a whole lot. We went through different phases, and one of the things was prana work, where we were
Mhm.
practicing proper breathing. And so I try to stay conscious of that throughout my day. Some days yesterday I was fasting. And for some reason, I kept forgetting to breathe. And so, of course, you already fasting. So I'm very exhausted. I went out and harvested herbs. I done did all the things and keep forgetting to breathe. And so sometimes when I bent over, I felt faint. And I'm like, girl, what is it about this day? And it was because we lost 2 chickens. Me and my son, we be serious about a lot of things, but when it comes to losing chickens, we're very serious about it because we're trying to figure out what happened, what did we fail to protect our animals. And so
Mhm.
um yesterday was just heavy. And with the fasting and me forgetting to breathe, I struggled through yesterday. And so that alone, if you could just remember that you're not breathing properly, and when you do remember to start breathing properly in that moment, that right there will advance levels on a cellular level of you healing. Everything is in the breath. We talk about it in astrology wise. Pisces is the breath, the spirit. We joke about it in the background. We say that Pisces is God's favorite because we know Aries is the seed. You know, when you conceiving, that would be Aries, but Pisces is the breath. When you go through those cycles of those 8 or 9 months, and you you know when a baby comes out, he takes his first breath. They record that, and so Just keeping in mind the breath. I feel like that is the God connection. And I believe God being inward, not outward. I'm not chasing sky daddies around here, but um that, and when we're talking about in relation to the HLO, if you can remember your breathing during those things, I think it makes the orgasm 100% better. We all know everybody breathing hard. When you be small, when you participate in these activities, everybody huffing and puffing. But if you can keep that breath under control and let that guide you to getting there, it's a whole nother type of orgasm. Trust me. Trust me. You want to know I got you. And so, that being said, we started a little late. Thank you for attending a Chemical Changes book club. We're not going to end abruptly, but Brother Butts always reminds me, because when he starts, he'll say it. I don't announce the book club name because I forget. So I'm going to make a whole flyer for it that therefore I can remember to say it. But this book club is our Chemical Changes. We come, we read to bring about change. We learn how to, what they call, perform alchemy, which is taking one thing and transforming it into the next. And so whether that be your pain being transformed into your light, it could be taking one thing from liquid to solid form, manifestation, whatever it is, we're bringing about changes. And that's what we want to do in our community. I formed the book club to bring about healing and awareness. We don't just read orgasm books, even though this was not just orgasm book. I'm just making a joke, but
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
read all types of books. We have the Kabbalion, the Four Agreements. All of this is on the book club playlist. You can go at any time and read. It was only one book I could not complete. Let's say two. Two books I did not complete were the one where the girl made a book about, and respectfully, I just don't remember her name. She made a book about the type of men, and it was like 35 chapters, and she covered the couch potato man, the man who wanted a woman to, and I couldn't complete it because I have to have the actual book, and I had the book on my phone, and I was
Oh,
I wasn't gonna pay for that. I'm not paying for no book on my phone. And so Princess something, she still is out there giving speeches about this. It was an okay book, just giving you a brief description of each male type, archetype for her. And she is a psychologist, certified. And so people think that she was just talking, but she wasn't. She studied in this area. And so it was a good book, but I did not complete that one. And the other one is The Whole of a Pale Horse. Have y'all heard it? Have you heard it, Brother Woods?
say what that again?
Bill, what was his name? Bill something. The Pale Horse book.
Pale horse or pale rider?
No, the Pale Horse. The book that is an ex-military man, and he talked about all the corruption within our government and these
Hmm.
societies and corporations we all know, and how they experimented throughout the melanated community with AIDS, cancer, all the things. Bill,
Okay.
whoever, right? And so I couldn't finish that book because it was so dark and heavy. By the time I got to
Mm,
chapter 10, my energy just could not hold any more of what he was talking. I was like, you know what? This is one of them books where you have to be able to hold that type of energy. It got so dark. I got to the chapter on HIV/AIDS and how they experienced
hmm
that, and my spirit just could not go on. It was too much for me to hold. Now, admittedly,
mm,
this book is online. I'm pretty sure plenty of people have completed it,
hmm
but it's heavy. I'm not gonna lie, and so I didn't complete it on my chapter. Like I said, I got about chapter 10. Started reading about HIV/AIDS, and I could not move forward. It was just too much, and so
So let me ask this question: are you empathic, or have you ever been? Are you an empath?
I am an empath. I am an
That's
empath.
okay. So okay.
Yes. And so
I
going
haven't
back,
done one in a while, and maybe it's I need to do another session. Yeah, a lot of
well,
empaths go through life and they deal with things like you do, and being when you are an empath, you're meant to channel, not to hold,
uh-huh, uh-huh,
not to hold. But it takes some training to learn how to channel. Yeah,
right,
to read stuff, to listen to people and take stuff in, and to not let it all make you,
right,
dark and ugly and everything else.
right. I
And that's,
100% agree.
maybe,
I didn't
yeah, I haven't
learn.
done a session in a while. Maybe I need to consider doing one of those for some people.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, hey, if you are out there and you kind of go through what some of the things that Ms. Pitts described, where you when you hear a lot of the bad news in the world and you're reading something really dark or something and it adversely affects you, makes you sick or nauseous or something like
Mhm.
that, hit me up. When if I get like a half dozen people, I will set up a session. I'll start a session. It's a 4 week, 4 weeks, 1 hour each session to train people on how to channel as opposed to absorb. And we do that.
We appreciate you, Mr. Butts, because for me, I didn't know. This was like 10 years ago reading it, right? And so I realized in my astrology walk that for me, I'm a Gemini moon, and you gotta know astrology, but that means I am a channeler. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
not for me to remember or to hold. That's why I read the
Mm-hmm.
Kabbalion so many times because I learned by repetition too, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was an important message and it wasn't for me to remember because people would be asking me stuff because I'm always learning. And I'd be like, when I say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, I'm lost. You gotta tell me particular when, but it's because it's a channel through me. I'm not designed to hold all of this information and be some type of guru in it. It's just for me to flow through to the community. And so I didn't learn that until after reading that book, but baby, at the time, that book
Mm-hmm.
had just done destroyed my little
Okay.
spirit. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't believe half the stuff I was reading. I was just like, dang. And when I got to chapter 10, I felt guilty because I'm a person that likes to complete everything I start.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so bad, but that I had to announce that I would not be continuing the book. I really did. And I went back and tried to do more chapters. It was so heavy on my energy. So I would appreciate you starting this course. Of course, I'm open and receptive to whatever you're
Mm-hmm.
teaching and how to channel it properly. But I just
I
learned
will
that
do that.
certain stuff I'll just stay away from. If it's too heavy, this is with people too.
Mm-hmm.
If I meet a person and they like really heavy on the energy, I just decline. I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have my energy weighed down, and I do empathize. And people tend to think that it's cold when you don't entertain it, but it's just like, nah. I know my energy. I don't want to be weighed down. Sag is freedom, and so we like to be free and light most of the time. And so, with that being
Yeah.
said, reach out to Brother Butts. I put his Facebook link in the description box along with the Grand Trine um, Master Morris's website where you can purchase and support Master Morris. He has a lot of experience, a lot of books are there. I put that in the link, but Brother Butt's Facebook where he shares recipes. He shows love to the community. You can see many events and places that you can hang out at in his area. And so he likes to support us. So you'll see a lot of businesses and events to where people are selling food and people are having a good time. So you want to go over there, you want to stay up to date. I go and look just because I'm a foodie, honestly. That's how we met. I
Mm-hmm.
used to peep at his page looking at his food because I'm like, I love a man that cooks, number one. And so what we also share in common is food and the presentation thereof. I don't like to just eat a bowl of slop. It can't be all touching. I like to see the process and then he lays his food out beautifully. And so that's the stuff I used to go and peep at when we met in the cruise group. And for all the foodies out there, if you have a recipe and you don't know quite how to get there, reach out to him. I reach out to him all the time on my little recipes. If I don't know, he is a master chef as well. I don't know if they call chefs masters. Guru, chef guru. What do they call chefs at the highest level?
Uh, well, I don't have a Michelin star. I'm not a Michelin star chef. I don't have a Michelin star.
Okay.
I've got a significant amount of training. Yeah, I've had a restaurant, a successful catering business for a while. We ain't gonna, this is not my bio. This is not my,
No, and we will be
not my,
interviewing Brother Butts here on the platform. I had got out of interviewing. Like I said, when we met, I had just not checked out, honestly. And so we were supposed to do interviews first and then bring you out some type of content. So we're just gonna keep going. We will be interviewing him where we can discuss the different things that he does. But honestly, the food is what drew me to it. Honestly, that's just me. You might go over there and find something else. He's also a poet. And so that was something I found out later. I love poetry. And so just creativity. I love a good creative. Most of my friends are creative, including myself. And so we dibble and dabble in not just one thing. We experience life to the fullest. And so if you still are a foodie, he has all of the food places, like I say, in his area where he shares and probably frequents and supports. But just him cooking is enough for me. I like seeing him cook. And then if I have a dish that I want to experience, pho, he walked me through my pho journey where I made some pho. Last week, what was I cooking? Oh, pepper
well,
steak.
you did Philly cheesesteaks, and oh yeah.
Yeah, for the first time, and it was beautiful. He knows I don't eat leftovers, so I just overdo
She,
the.
she did it this time.
Yeah, I don't measure, and so number one, I bought a whole roast and made this. It was too much, so he just instructed me going to freeze it. When you know it's too much and you looking at, just put it in the freezer. And so I'll be using those steak and peppers for a later meal or whatever. But I'll be telling him like, dang, why you let me cook all this? So I had pepper steak, Philly cheese steak, and then I made some wings on top of that. And so just if you need any help on a recipe, 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
he can
Mhm.
walk you through those ingredients. He cooks a variety of things, not just soul food. I don't just I like different stuff, and so I do reach out to him for that. But just go over and support. Like he said, if you all are empaths and you are trying to learn what to do with that energy versus holding on to it, like I sometimes do still to this day, reach out so we can get a class started. I want to be in the class. I'm going to reach out. And
That's
so,
one. Give me right.
right,
Five
just
more. Five more. We'll get it going. You know, whoever comes, but I'll start it second. No, hold on. I got something. I'm gonna set it up for August.
okay.
I'm gonna set it up to begin in August. You feel free to remind me. We're gonna do four. We're gonna do four sessions, 1 hour sessions. That's all you got to do. Commit. Well, on screen with me, 4 hours
Okay.
in a month's time, and the work I give you assigned to do afterwards, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. You will be great. Yeah, this has been Alchemical Changes, the book club, founded and created by Miss Nina M. Pitts. And I'm Jamal M. Butts. We've enjoyed reading chapter 13 for you. We'll be doing a full book review as we read the last chapter, chapter 14 of Master Morris's book, The Holy Grail of Orgasm.
Right.
Bring your pens and papers next week. If you didn't bring them no other time, bring your pens and papers next week. We're going to uh, we're going to break down the first 13 chapters, summarize them, and we're going to help you put this blueprint together for getting to willfully and intentionally, consistently, and on purpose achieving a high level orgasm,
Right.
if that's what you want to do.
Right. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section of this live video and we will address them next week. Our last chapter. Also, we did not have any comments pertaining to the book this week. And so it is my
Okay.
understanding that you all are following along, and hopefully you are going to apply this to your HLO journey. And I hope that we can bring about change. And we're gonna go and get out of here. We had 1 hour and 55 minutes on the live. And so, like again, we appreciate the new subscribers and the YouTube family, the people that have been around. Um, don't forget, share, like, and subscribe. It pushes us up in the algorithm. We've been here 14 weeks for y'all. All we asking for is just a like. We're not gonna beg you, but we're just asking like the video so other people can also be healed on some level. We're gonna get out of here. Peace and power, and we're out.
Yeah, we're out. Thanks, everybody.